Hello YouTube, Penchio8 here. So, I feel like making a very important video message. So, if you're watching this, YouTube user Legofan506, this is definitely for you. This is my message to you. I've definitely been seeing your vlog in Atlanta, as well as just now a few moments ago what you posted on your Legofan506 channel, like what happened to you, Atlanta. And all I can say is I feel very sorry for you. So my message is that I'm very sorry about all the things you experienced and all. And I really hate to think that someone would steal your camera and throw it over the edge like that. That is very unacceptable behavior. And I'm also amazed that you read my comment about what happened. It was a very long time ago and all. But let me try to take it clearly. So, I'm glad you read my comment on your vlog channel that it is very true that when I took a flight a long time ago, that was practically like my very first time I've ever puked on an airplane like that. And I'm always very happy that the FAA requires that those airliners have those barf bags in the seat pocket in front of you. So it's all very true that before I got on the plane while I was boarding, I was having a little bit of something to eat, like breadsticks and all. It wasn't anything to do with seafood, it was bread, and very truly, it tasted horrible and all, and I didn't know what to expect as soon as I got on the plane and all. I definitely did take a motion sick pill before the plane took off, and when the plane took off, there was like so much turbulence. I was leaving out of Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National Airport, and I understand it's hard to fly over Washington, D.C. and all. There was like a lot of turbulence, like shaking my stomach around like a bag, like shaking all that stuff around. And then by the time everything was calm about mid flight, that's when I felt that sickness of nausea and all that. I was really hoping I would get through it until the plane landed, but eventually it got the best of me, so I pulled the barf bag out of the seat pocket, I puked in it, and the person in the aisle seat went away, but he wasn't mad at me for doing anything like that. He just didn't want to see me throw up, so he probably like ran over to the bathroom and all to like mind his own business, but some people who were seated in front of me had a lot of concerns for me where they were like, "Are you okay?" and everything like that. And along with that, my mom called the flight attendant and he took care of me very nice, got me another bag and in the case I had to puke again, and I did, and then eventually I didn't have to puke, so he took it away. So all I can say is rather you're on a source of transportation with attendants or in the middle of a show like that, you should be more kind and courteous about those people. Like as 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 Lego fans said, you should lean near them saying stuff like, "You're throwing up, are you okay?" and all that. It's not very nice to steal such a thing like a camera or my device I usually record with, my iPhone. It's not nice to say stuff like, "Are you seated here or something? Give me that!" and then just throw it away. That is very rude behavior, I gotta admit. And if that ever happened to me, I would have left out of nowhere and tried to do what I could to identify the person to the security and all so I could file a report and all. And yeah, if it's in the middle of a very big crowd, to throw something like that, described as a foreign object, it's very dangerous in a very huge crowd. That, like a show or a stadium, is very dangerous. Like, it could, like, literally hit somebody very hard in the head. And I know that your video equipment, such as the Canon and all, it's a lot heavier than my iPhone and all. Trust me, and even if it was my iPhone that got thrown away like that, I would have been completely pissed by then. Because apparently I don't have any backup iPhones, and if I'm able to recover it, I would still hope to have it in one piece like that. And I'm glad, Mark, that your video camera came back in one piece, and I'm sorry about the screen getting damaged. I mean, I would have done the same thing, probably do anything I could to get another iPhone. I mean, I've only got one in my hand at the time. I don't keep any backup iPhones or anything else like that. So don't let this happen to your iPhone. And I'm glad that your camera was in one piece like that. I'm trying to think. And, well, I'm very sorry that woman treated you very, very badly like that. I mean, it is true. Can you imagine if a camera or any foreign object heavier than my iPhone landed on someone's head? Yeah, what if it landed on a child's head or worse, a baby's head like that? That could cause serious damage to that little child's brain like that and immediately get them hospitalized, and it could give somebody a stroke or something like that. And I think the worst thing that happened, aside from you puking like that, was someone stealing your personal property like that. I mean, it's very disturbing to throw foreign objects like that at people. Someone could have been hurt, but luckily that did not happen. And I don't know what saved your camera from well being torn into pieces like that. That's just an awful act. And I hate to break it to you, buddy, but some people down in the southern states like that are not always that nice. I hate to break it to you, but it's very, very true. I have had bad experiences with people living in the South, but not in such cases of taking cameras or any foreign object and throwing them away. You see, I'm very, very autistic, and one thing I know about a lot of people who live in the South is that they like to make all kinds of weird jokes and all, and as an example, I do not take jokes well. In fact, I feel like doing another video like that about the jokes and all that in another video because I'm extremely sensitive, I'm extremely gullible, and I take things to an ultimate military standard seriously. So that's why I don't want anybody to mess with me like that. And I know that's how people in the South are, but that worst kind of act of throwing a camera away like that, worst thing anybody could ever do. And if that was me like that, and if I really felt some sickness already building up, I would have totally exited my ego and just ran straight to the bathroom or the nearby medical center and called a doctor to find out what was going on with me. Because you never know. You could be having a stroke or a heart attack. I mean, in the case of a passenger on an airplane having a stroke or a heart attack, they would immediately alert the captain or the pilot to make an emergency landing to get you off that plane and into a hospital. And that's what they really should have done. Are you okay? And if you were to see someone to nearly pass out, you should dial 911 immediately and have medical assistance pull them from their seat and off to the hospital like that. And all I can say, Mark, is I'm very, very glad you were able to rehydrate and all and recover from your food poisoning, because especially when it comes to seafood, it's very true that seafood, that's definitely the more common that's the more common cause of food poisoning right there. A lot of people have gotten food poisoned from seafood, especially from lobster rolls, because I go to Disney World with my mom a lot, and in the park, the Magic Kingdom, we love that seafood place called the Columbia Harbor House, and she's eaten the lobster rolls there plenty of time, and it is assured that the lobsters are cooked extremely thoroughly, but you never know. Well, something else could happen in those lobsters. Anything of a worst case scenario of them being slightly undercooked or so. And ever since that's happened, my mom always got sick, but she was never vomiting, thank goodness, because worst case comes that the more you vomit, the more your body is dehydrating and all that. But lucky for some people that eventually the puking comes to an end like that, and they're able to rehydrate with all kinds of, liquidized drinks. Of course, I'm not one to drink the heavy stuff like soda or pop or, in this case, beer, because I really hate the drinks that have that really have the carbonated flavors like that. where the minute it hits your tongue like that, you already start to feel the bubbles tingling on your tongue. I've hated that sensation ever since I was a kid, and I never want to do stuff like that. So the only drinks I'm after is anything like water or even apple juice. Yeah, I know this is stuff that I'd be drinking as a kid and all. And I'm not very good at dieting, honestly. I mean, I've enjoyed stuff like chicken nuggets and ketchup and all since I was a kid, and McDonald's cheeseburgers. I continue to go that way. I thrive on fried foods all the time. But I don't really know it, but I am starting to eat a little healthily by having some fish and all, but the only way I kind of like it is just deep fried and all, and dipped in stuff like mayonnaise and ketchup. And I know that stuff is not very good for you, but even eating is a way of keeping your stuff alive. But very truly, you gotta be very, very cautious when it comes to treating seafood, because it's very true that seafood has always been the number one source of food poisoning like that. So you gotta be assured, and if you have to check with their chef and all to make sure that it's cooked thoroughly, just go ahead and check with a chef and all stores and stuff like that. That's my advice for you. So try to eat as well as you can before those shows, and try to check with a chef if you must to make sure that the food is cooked thoroughly, because, like I say a lot of times in this video, seafood is like the number one source of food poisoning, so try to be as alert as you can on what kind of seafood you're ordering, and try to check with a chef or a waiter if it's cooked thoroughly, and make sure they inspect it a little bit. Make sure it's cooked perfect and that nothing's going to happen to you. But if you do start getting food poisoning in the middle of a show like that, you should alert yourself and just hit the restroom or stuff like that. And it is true that when it comes to a monster truck or a monster jam event, there is always intermissions. And if I was feeling a little bit of a sickness like that after the skills competition, by the way, as of now in Monster Jam, the two-wheel skill competition is now just called the skills competition. And with skills competition, the monster truck driver has an attempt to either do two stunts on two wheels or either a donut. So take my really quick correction that the two-wheel skills competition is now called the skills competition. The Great Clip skills competition. So anyway, if I was like to feel a little bit of nausea like that, as if I'm gonna puke, like during two-wheel or sorry, my tongue is slipping. The Great Clip skills competition like that, it's hard for my tongue to slip away from that fact because I got used to it being just two-wheel skill for a while. And if I know intermission was coming up, I would have gotten out of my seat and like went someplace private to find out like what is going on with me and all. I know that was a weird decision you made, Mark, to probably like stretch out and in all hopes that it would wear off like that. So, if I was at the show with you, I would have totally done something. I would have like immediately alerted some authorities right over if I was at the show with you. So, if you're watching this, Mark, if I was with you at that show right now, I would have cared so much about you or anybody who was like having a fit like that, a medical fit. I would have alerted some medical authorities immediately in a nicer way to get them out of there. Not blame them. You should, like, aid to someone's rescue. I mean, we can never forget a few years ago how some doctor was booted off of a United Airlines flight by force like that. In an example, the way I would picture that as if there was a minor plane crash and if you were to drag someone out of their seat, you should do it as if you're coming to the aid of their rescue, not blame them. So either way, this is kind of my video of apology. I'm sorry you went through all that, Mark, and that you should have been a little bit more careful with what you were eating, and I understand it all. I'm very, very sorry either way. So this is my message to you. So I gotta get going because I'm almost up 15 minutes in this video, and I just know that they're not gonna let me upload a video longer than 15 minutes. So I guess this is all I can say for now. I'm very sorry, and I hope this never happens to me or anyone else ever. So keep this message, all of you people watching, and hope this never lets this be you. So thank you for watching. This is Cameron at Pinchio Wait, signing and pinching out. Take care.